Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Jessica and this is the Field Schoolhouse. So today's video is another collab video that I did with all those other awesome homeschooling mamas when we shared our 5 reasons for homeschooling. Well, today's video is going to be all about encouraging the homeschooling mom and how to overcome a bad homeschool year. Now, naturally, all of us have been through different things, so be sure to check out that playlist because I'm sure that there will be something in every video that will bless you. I am so looking forward to hearing what all these other mamas have to say because truly their channels are amazing. So this video is just as much for me as it is for you. I, by no means have everything all figured out in our homeschool, and every year we change things up, so I don't want to ever give off that impression. So one thing to remember is that homeschooling is not a sprint, it's a marathon. If you are in it for the long haul, it's okay if you're not in it for the long haul, it really is. You got to do what's best for you and your family. But we are not going to see the fruits of our labor, within the first year. It's not going to be until the end that we are going to see the fruits and the benefits of pouring into our children through our homeschooling journey. And one thing to remind ourselves too is that if God has called you to homeschool, He is going to equip you. He is going to give us the tools that we need for our children. Now this is something that I often, end up going through, goodness, I don't know how I'm going to do this. This is just a lot of work. And I will be very overwhelmed, and I'll share with, a close friend or my husband, and I really do have an amazing support system. So that would be my next tip is, plug in and get a great support system. Because if it wasn't for the support system that I have, I don't even know where I'd be, okay? But my husband often encouraged me. He's like, "You got this. God has called you to this. God will give you the tools that you need." And it may not be like I know it right away. It will be like as we're going through whatever hard journey that we're going through. So have y'all seen that meme that says that we teach our children to walk, we teach our children to talk, we teach our children to ride a bike? Why do we second guess ourselves whenever it comes to actually teaching our kids, school academics? I love that meme because that sums up homeschooling right there. A mom and a parent, a dad, we stand along our children as their babies and we're teaching them all these things that they need to know. So why do we second guess ourselves whenever it comes to book work, whenever it comes to learning math? Why do we do that? God gives us the tools that we need. So one thing, if we don't have the tools that we need, it's okay to outsource. It's okay to get a tutor. We have had to get a reading tutor in the past for one of our children, and I have often almost done it again. Or maybe a family member actually has, something that you need that they can add to your homeschool. I've heard of so many homeschooling families, and I really wish that we had this. We don't. But where a grandparent comes in, once a month or once a week, and they teach history to their grandchildren, or an aunt or an uncle, that have been through something, that they can come in and teach your children. It is okay to outsource things. Right now, and actually probably from here on out for my oldest daughter, I'm having a hard time teaching her math. Now, we use teaching textbooks, and I use that for a reason because it teaches them. Well, I am not a math-minded person, okay? My husband is, and he's great at math, so oftentimes he is now teaching math. Now, that looks a little bit differently. If my daughter can't do it on her own that day, and if I just, can't, it's more that I can't explain it to her in a way that she understands. I can do it, but I can't relay the information the way that my husband does. And so we wait and we set it aside, and it is done when my husband comes home from work. If it isn't done then, because my husband does get home rather late from work, then on the weekends they will do several math lessons. Is it perfect? No, but it works. So don't be afraid to ditch the curriculum. If it's not working for you, change it. It doesn't matter if it's mid-year. So, oh goodness, this has been many years ago. I got a curriculum. It cost a lot of money. I was excited about it, but it did not work. I didn't change it. I just trudged along, and I knew that it wasn't working. And I really have a lot of regrets, and I'm like, why didn't I change it? One, I was really worried about the amount of money that I had spent on the curriculum. I do believe I got it used, but anyway, so that's the other thing. Try to buy used curriculum so that you don't lose a ton of money. I ended up eventually reselling it. I think I lost a little bit of money, but it wasn't a ton. But if it doesn't work, it's not worth trying to make it work. And change up whatever works for your child, whatever works best for you. I share that in my homeschool plans for this year video, I have tried so many different curriculums, more so for history and science, and they just don't work for me. Unit studies work for me. There is such beautiful curriculum out there, and I think it's just overwhelming, and we just want to make all of those things work, but they don't. If it doesn't work for you, that's okay, because it's not a one size fits all for every homeschool family. So don't be afraid to change things up. Don't be afraid to try something new if you've always stuck with the same thing. And if your third child, or if you're like me and have a bunch of kids, they don't all learn the same. They don't all learn how to read the same way. I've tried many different, reading curriculums, because all of my children seem to learn differently. And it's okay to change those things up. So something to remember too is that learning is so much more than what's in the books, but so much more than what's in our textbooks, or a writing assignment, or a math problem. Learning is a way of life. It's, the way that we, provide for our family, the way that we keep our house, the way that we're there for our family and friends. All of that matters just as much as bookwork. For us, about every other year is baby year. So those will be hard homeschooling years. In my first trimester, I am very sick, and I don't feel good, and I have zero energy, and I sleep a lot, and I'm rather cranky. But we have learned how to work together through that. My kids know that I need a little bit of extra help, and why they are helping more during that season. And the same thing at the end of pregnancy, and when we have a newborn baby. But as we have the baby, the kids are also able to help with the baby, and so they are learning hands-on experience with a small child. It's just something that we are all learning together and working together. One of our biggest hurdles that we have gone through as a family is, as I have mentioned many times before, is after Harper was born, she was very sick, and we found out that she was having seizures. Okay, during this time, we were supposed to have started school. And so I really had to put that on the back burner, and I don't think she was born August 22nd, and I don't think we really started school until the end of October, early November. That was hard as a homeschooling mom. I was so worried because we were starting, a month late. I was planning on kind of starting the first week of September, and so we were starting, very, very late. But what we went through as a family is, yes, it was hard. I don't ever want to go through anything like that again. But we came together in a way that I can't even really put into words or describe. We were really just unified through this experience. And I'm very thankful that Harper is, doing as amazing as she is. But my kids can see that, and they often talk about that when Harper was sick, and, this and that. So, anyways, with all that said, whenever I was going through that, and I'm sitting in the hospital with Harper, and I could think of, we're falling behind in school already, and this and that, and I was like, maybe we should just put them in school for a year or two, because if we don't know how Harper's going to do, and we don't know, we didn't know, and the doctors even said that to us, we don't have any answers for you. We were hopeful that the medication would help, but we did not know until we were there. That was very hard. And I was like, well, maybe we should just put the kids in school so that, they can get the education and being taught that they need, and that I'm not falling behind, because I was so worried about Harper, and I had to watch her very closely and make sure, that she wasn't having a seizure. And I really, really, that was it. I was throwing in a towel. That was what I was going to do. And of course, I obviously have to talk to my husband about this, and he's like, I understand why you feel this way. He's like, but our family is meant to be together, and they are going to learn far more by being together, even if we don't crack open a book until, December or January, or, really late in the school year. He's like, so don't worry about all that. Just focus on our family, and what school you get done is great. And now that, again, may not work for everybody, but it's what worked for us. And it gave me I don't even know the word, the release that I needed from, the stress that I was putting on myself. And yes, we were behind in our books that year, but it all eventually evens out. We did a little bit more work throughout the summer, or, picking up reading, more off, don't know what I'm trying to say. Eventually it all evens out. So if a child is behind on reading, like, and say that they're, 7 or 8, it clicks a whole lot faster than when they're younger. Does that make sense? So that's kind of where we were at with Harper. I think Jackson at the time was learning how to read. And, eventually, so I was really worried about it. But eventually it did. I promise you, it all evens out. So, again, please visit that playlist. I will link it below. Everybody's story is going to look different. These are just some things that we have gone through and the encouragement that, my husband often gives to myself and the things that I need to hear. So I hope that something blessed you, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.